Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2023, and today I want to talk to you all about the difference between being selfish and being self full. My definition of selfish is when you're not considering the needs of others, you're just solely looking out for your own needs without considering how other people feel. And selfish to me is more of a violation and a lack of consideration. Whereas being self full, when you are self full, you are taking the time to fill your own cup. You are considerate of other people's needs. At the same time, you're making sure that you prioritize your needs so that way you can be present for other people. I realized that in the past, I was very resentful when I didn't take care of my own needs. When I put somebody else's needs ahead of my own, I became angry when they didn't do the same thing for me. And I realized that being self full is really an act of self love. It's not being self immersed or self engrossed or self obsessed or just self centered. It's nothing of the sort. It's making sure that you keep your cup full so that way you can be of service to other people. I can't feed you if I'm starving. I can't water you if I don't water myself. And I realized that, I used to always blame people, and get angry with people when they didn't give me the things that I should have been giving myself. I realized that as an adult, it is your responsibility to give yourself the things that you need. No one is going to give you what you need. You have to give you what you need. And as an adult, I've been coming to terms with so many things. I've been realizing the importance of keeping myself full and keeping my cup full. I've been recognizing the need to be honest with myself about people's limitations and also tempering my expectations because I realized that I had a lot of unrealistic expectations when it came to other people. And unrealistic expectations lead to devastating disappointments. When you have all these lofty expectations as to what someone should be doing, you're in for major disappointments. I've learned to accept people for where they're at in life and just temper my expectations accordingly. I realize that you cannot expect other people to share your feelings. You can't expect other people to share your level of awareness. You can't expect other people to be on your level at times. Sometimes people are at different stages in life, and we have to make space for that. That does not mean that we have to lower our standards, because I realize that it's important to have standards. I was accused today of being so hard on people, so hard on people. And I realized that I'm not hard on people, but I'm like God in the sense that I have standards. We all have standards. And sometimes people will rise to our standard, and sometimes they won't. And that's okay. But you also have to realize that you have standards for a reason. You should have standards as to how you deserve to be treated, what you are willing to tolerate. It's important that you have those standards. And sometimes people try to make you feel as though you're wrong for having standards and that you're being too hard or you're expecting too much sometimes. Sometimes you're not expecting too much. After you take your self inventory and check in with yourself and ask yourself, am I expecting too much? Sometimes you're not expecting too much. And sometimes you are, and that's when you have to do the work. But most of the time, I can speak in my situation, I'm not expecting too much. These days, the bare minimum seems to be too much for a lot of people. Giving you the bare minimum is too much. And I realize that that's no reflection on me. That's more of a reflection on them. And oftentimes I will blame myself, say that, oh, you're expecting too much, this, that, and the third. Sometimes you are. And then sometimes you're not. And you have to really sit with yourself and step back and take a moment to reflect. Take a moment to step back. Am I expecting too much from this situation? And you have to be honest with yourself. In the past, I have expected so much from people. But now I don't expect too much from people at all. I expect more from myself. I realize that I can definitely give myself the things that I need. At the same time, I do have standards. And if a person is not able to meet those standards, okay, I get it. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for playing. You got to go now. Because it's getting to a point where, you can't tolerate less from people. You cannot keep accepting less than what you deserve, trying to understand their situation to the point where it's causing you to lose out on what you deserve. Because my thing is this, you can be over understanding. You can be over giving. And that leads to resentment too, because I realized there were times in my life where I was over giving and I was just pouring so much into people. And this goes back to being self-full and keeping your cup full. You pour so much and you give so much to other people, then you look back and you wonder, why didn't they stop me from doing that? Why didn't they stop me from giving myself away? Why didn't they stop me from losing myself? They didn't stop you from losing yourself because it was benefiting them. Your trauma response was beneficial for them. So they let you get away with giving yourself less. They let you continue to pour and give and give. And that's the thing, people are not going to stop you. If you are an overgiver, if you are an extremely generous person, you have to know your limits, because the takers don't know. They don't know. Matter of fact, they don't care. As long as they continue to be replenished, as long as they continue to get full off of your generosity, they will not stop you. And that's why you have to put a cap on your generosity. You have to set that boundary, because if you don't, they won't. And so sometimes I was very resentful because I wondered, why didn't they stop me? They saw that I was giving till it hurt. And they let me continue to give till it hurt. But I realize in hindsight, that's not their responsibility to protect me. It's my responsibility to protect me. It's my responsibility to make sure that I don't give myself away. And I encourage everyone out there who is over generous, stop giving yourself away. You have to keep something for yourself, because if you don't keep something for yourself, you're going to be very resentful. You're going to wind up isolating and alienating just as a way to regain your sense of composure and balance. Because when you're giving so much, it's leading to this imbalance. And so you end up retreating and fleeing from a situation and avoiding people because you're trying to regain yourself again. I always say the most unselfish thing you can give is keeping your cup full and making sure you are self-full. Not selfish. Because a lot of people in this world, they glorify being selfish. Oh, this year I'm being selfish. I'm taking care of me. Selfish to me is an extreme. It's an extreme. It's pretty much over the top. Selfish is something that is a direct result of being hurt. It comes from a wounded place. But being self-full comes from a healed place. When you are healing and you are on the verge of being healed, you want to keep your cup full. You recognize the value of keeping your cup full. You know that if I keep my cup full, I can be a better friend. I can be a better partner. I can be a better son. I can be a better brother. I can be a better uncle because I'm able to be present for someone. Now, if I'm starving, whether that be physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and that's another one, spiritually. If I am spiritually starving, I can't be present for nobody because my soul aches. And when your soul aches, you can't hear the needs of other people. All you are able to do is tune into that ache, feel that ache, focus on that ache. You can't focus on everyone else's issues because you yourself are not getting your needs met. So I realized the importance and the value of keeping myself full, keeping my cup full. It's so essential. So that way you don't resent anyone. Because now I don't have any resentments towards no one. You know why? Because I keep my cup full. I recognize the need to always keep myself full. So that way I can be present for other people and listen and be motivated to do so in an authentic way. Because before I was just, I guess, on autopilot, just doing what was expected, doing what everyone else wanted and what would make someone else feel valued, special, seen, and heard. But I was not feeling valued, special, seen, or heard until I decided to focus and prioritize my needs. And now I can listen better, you know? And I also realized that I've distanced myself from people that were not pouring into me, people who I always had to remind to show up for me, who I always had to have a confrontation in order for them to show up for me. And a lot of people, they've apologized, but I realized and determined that an apology without behavior change is just a way to manipulate, get back into my good graces, so that way they could benefit from my wonderful qualities and my generosity, because people love your generosity. They love the part of you that gives them. But tell me something. Do you have people in your life right now that love you when you take care of you? Do they love it when they see you taking care of yourself? Or do they only love you when you're pouring out, giving out? You know? You know when someone's genuinely for you and into you, when they love you for you taking care of you, because they know that taking care of you is essential. You know? They know that. And they love you for it. Many of us were not taught to really value ourselves. You know, I realized when I was in kindergarten, the teacher sets up a veil. You know, you have people that want to see you succeed in kindergarten, grade school. They put that gold star on your paper. They give you positive reinforcement. They put those stickers on the top of your paper. Great, wonderful, stellar. And you're constantly given this stream of encouragement to support your achievement. But as you get older and you start getting into the business world, you start to realize that there are spaces that really don't value your achievements. There are spaces that want to see you fail. They don't want to see you succeed. And they make that very clear by the lack of support, by the constant undermining of your ideas, by the gaslighting. So when you get older, you have to support yourself. You really have to value and invest in yourself, because you're not given that same steady stream of support that you once were given when you were in kindergarten, grade school, high school. You know, you're not given that in adulthood. And as you get older and older, people see you less and less. They don't see your efforts. They don't recognize you. You know? You become invisible, and that's why you have to stay encouraged and encourage yourself. And it's not vanity, it's not narcissism, it's not grandiosity. What it is you trying to stay encouraged. You trying to get up in the morning, get out of bed in the morning, see another day. Because this world has a tendency to try to break your spirit. And so you have to stay encouraged and always, always keep your cup full with positive affirmations, daily reminders, the scriptures, daily devotions. You know, you have to always keep yourself motivated and uplifted, because this world, they will never celebrate your achievements the way that you celebrate yourself and your achievements. So you have to definitely keep your cup full. And so to wrap up, you know, selfishness, I don't condone it at all. Selfishness, in my definition, is just looking out for yourself at the expense of other people's needs, not considering other people, you know, just solely looking out for yourself. But being self-full is you pouring back into yourself so that way you can continue to be present for other people. So being self-full is the wave. I love being self-full, you know, because it's mutually beneficial. It's relationship restoring. You know, it's about reciprocity, a give and take, a pouring into, and also the expectation that others are pouring into you as well. Because now in 2023, I demand. I don't make it elective. It's not an elective. No, it's a demand. It's a requirement that you will pour into me. Because if you don't pour into me the way that I'm pouring into you, guess what? I accept that you can't pour. I accept that. But I'm also going to limit my contact because I realize that I can't continue to pour into somebody who's not feeding me with the same or greater intensity that I'm pouring into them. Can't do it. I can't do it. Won't do it. And neither should you. Find people who are excellent pourers. Find people who are excellent at reciprocity. And if they're not, they gotta go. It's just that simple. So I hope this video was helpful. Definitely keep yourself full. You have to definitely always keep yourself full. That's essential. If you are to feel better, if you are to feel alive and stay motivated, you have to keep yourself full. So once again, this is Lewis Speaks. If you benefited from this video, please share, comment, like. I'm definitely interested in your perspective and how you keep yourself full, especially during these crazy, chaotic times that we live in, you know? So please share your perspective. Thank you again for listening. Peace, y'all.